What's going on, everybody? It's your boy TIRADO, and welcome back to the Next Level Fear Show. I'm happy you guys are here. Hopefully you guys had a phenomenal summer. Summer is over, people. Summer's over. I hope you guys had a great weekend. I'm gonna tell you right now, I didn't do a damn thing. Okay. I'm a homebody, man. I love being home. You know what I mean? I'm not trying to spend money on nonsense, man. I'd rather bring that investment into the house. You know what I mean? I just love being home, man. Gym is in the house, studios in the house, everything's in the house. You know what I mean? Anyway, the reason why I'm making this video today is because I want to know if you guys have completed or are about to complete your New Year's resolution. You remember that? Y'all remember that shit 8 months ago? 8 months ago, everybody was amped up. 8 months ago, man. 8 months ago, you guys was talking about new year, new me. You know, the same old song and dance. The same old song and dance, people. Did you complete or did you get close to your New Year's resolution? That's the question. That's the question, everybody. Did you lose your 25 to 30 pounds, 40 pounds, whatever it was? You had 8 months to do it. Did you do it? Did you get leaner? Did your legs grow? Did your chest grow? Did your arms grow? Did you get to see your abs? Like, did you get to see the results that you expected? And if the answer is no, don't feel bad. Do not feel bad. This should just tell you at this point in the game, okay? At this stage, you got 8 months in before the new year. You got 4 months before the new year, but you got 8 months in. Can you tweak it? Can you adjust certain things to get to your goal? Or did you guys just give up? You know what I'm saying? Like, did you see, like, towards the end of the summer with all the barbecues and all the good food, you just said, you know what, man? I'm trying not to curse anymore. That's why I'm using the, when I say, did you guys just quit? You guys were going strong. January, February, March, April, the summer was coming. You guys were going strong. And then all of a sudden, June came around. And you guys were slacking. You started slacking. You was like, all right, I lost 10 pounds. I'm good. I'm 10 pounds lighter. Maybe I can get to the beach, take off this shirt. I'm all right. And then all of a sudden, the barbecues, like I said, the barbecues came. You started eating more food and you lost everything. Are you back at the same weight you started at? Or did you even gain more weight? If you gain more weight.
Gotcha, bitch.
Oh, that wasn't it. If you gain more weight, for real, man. For real. Food is like a drug. Food is a drug. Because you can't stop eating it. And I'm not talking about eating to survive. I'm talking about eating in abundance. If you can't stop eating bread or ice cream, pizza, pasta, whatever it is, whatever you fancy, if you can't stop, it's a drug. If you have no control over what you eat, it's a drug. And honestly, that is the reason why you guys can never fulfill that New Year's resolution. You can never complete it. And you can't complete it because food is a drug. It's meant and designed to keep you eating more and more and more. So what do you got to change? What do you have to change going forward for the next 4 months? And for the next 4 months, we're about to start eating more. The holidays come in, it gets colder. You know what I'm saying? Everybody wants to eat. You got the hot cocoa, you got the nice meals, the stews, all that good stuff, all that high caloric food. How did we get there, man? I'm going to tell you how I managed to keep the weight off. It's going on 2 years now. I managed to keep damn near 50 pounds off. I'll be 51 in a couple of weeks. And I managed to keep it off. It has a lot to do with consistency, right? It's got a lot to do with willpower. It's got a lot to do with a goal that I have in mind. Okay? A certain look that I need to accomplish. Right? So there's so many facets as to why I was able to do it and keep it off for the following 2 years. And partly the things that I changed that really worked that you can change is, number one, sleep. Sleep was honestly, it's the be all end all. When I don't get 8 hours of sleep minimum, I'm not right. Some of you guys can get 5 and 6 hours and be good, but for me, if I'm not getting 8, man, especially my sleeps can be a little interrupted at times. I got to wake up, go to the bathroom. 8 hours, man, minimum. That's what I need. So if you guys got the sleep right, you're on to a decent track there, okay? The other question is, how are you training? Are you consistent in the training? My answer is probably going to be no. Maybe some things came up. You can't really get to the gym. Maybe you got bored of going to the gym. Maybe you just couldn't get there, right? But if you can't get there and you don't have a system in your house where you can work out, there are other things that you can do. Like if you're a stay-at-home mom and you work from home, walking will do the trick. Walking around the block over and over and over again, trying to get that 12,000 steps in every single day. If you do that every single day, you're going to keep the weight off. Now, here's the other thing, because I'm just going to fast forward to some of the reasons why I was able to keep it off and be able to manage my weight the way I want to, right? So the other really important thing is obviously calorie consumption. Are you monitoring that? Did you start monitoring how many calories you're consuming every day? If you're not, that's a big problem. If you're not counting calories, that's a big problem, especially for those who live a real sedentary lifestyle. Like going to the gym and training with the weights is not going to burn enough calories for you to be in a deficit if you're not monitoring your calories. So you gotta get those steps in. And you just can't be lazy. I mean, that's just it. Get out there, get the steps in, call it a day. All right, so calories is big, man. If you're not monitoring it, then you got to do more steps. 12,000 minimum, 12,000 steps minimum. But if you got a grip on what you're eating and you're monitoring your calories and you're in a deficit, then it's got to be your training. You're training wrong. You're either not training hard enough or maybe you're overtraining. And that's, for an entirely different video, but overtraining, there's a lot of people that do overtrain. There's a lot of people that don't even know how to train. Here's the other thing. A lot of people who lack in certain body parts will tend to neglect the body parts that they're lacking in, which doesn't make sense. If you're a male and you don't have big legs, but your upper body is pretty damn big, why are you doing your upper body and not doing your lower body more often? So I had that problem. So my upper body was just too big. I was storing a lot of fat in my upper back, my abdomen area. Like I just was a big, blocky, stocky looking guy, right? I had naturally decent front quads, right? My quads were decent, but my hamstrings were lacking. What else was lacking was my ass. I still to this day have a small ass. My kids make fun of me all the time. I'm telling you. They tell me I got an ass like a little baby, but my quads are insane, right? It is what it is. Can't be perfect, man. But what did I do to make my quads appear bigger? Because I had decent amount of front quads, right? They were established. I trained my rear quads, my rear hamstrings. I trained my hamstrings basically. Okay. And so training my hamstrings three days out of the week, that's what I did. And that's what I did for 2 years. And I was able to grow my hamstrings. I was able to grow a little bit of my glutes. And it just made my legs appear a lot fuller, a lot more muscular. Yes, I trained my front quads. I trained my front quads twice a week, right? But I trained my hams 3 times a week. And I didn't go crazy. I trained them. I tried to really focus on that mind-muscle connection. I really tried focusing on the reps. And more importantly, I tried focusing on that pump to really get that blood in there and really build up that lactic acid to the point where my quads were just massively pumped and I can't even flex them. That was the goal. And it really doesn't take much if you are able to have that mind-muscle connection. It's not going to take much. All I have is a barbell. I have some dumbbells. And I have a seated leg curl and a leg extension machine. That's it. I don't have a leg press. I don't have hack squats. I don't have any of that. I don't have a Smith machine. I don't have any of that. And so what did I do? I focused on the things that I did not have. For example, my rear delts. Guys will tend to focus on their front delts I don't understand why. When you bench, you are attacking your front delts. The other thing is crazy is that we're not focusing on our rear delts. When you look at a man, you will rarely see developed I think it's called anterior delts. I don't know. Rear delts. All right. You'll never ever see well-developed rear delts. You'll never see capped delts on a man because a man is holding too much fat, too much water. But it's very rare that you see these things. But for me, because I have front delts, where I was lacking was my side and my rear, like most men. So what did I do? I focused more on that. My first exercise would be rear delts. Then I would go into my side and I would never do front delt. I would just save my front delts when I was doing bench. So I think training smarter, training harder, really feeling what you're doing, making sure that you're training properly, slowing down the repetitions, lightening up the weight. You don't have to train heavy to get big. That's the key. And training properly is probably what you guys are not doing. And that's why you're not growing. This is why you'll see guys in the gym look the same for 5 years. I honestly, I've been to gyms where I would see the guys in the gym and they would progressively get worse. I don't even know how that's possible, but it's possible. I'm telling you. So if you guys want to, reevaluate what you're doing wrong, take a look at that, man. Take a look at your training. Take a look at how much you're eating. Take a look at your sleep, right? You do all those things, man, you can possibly get yourself back on track. You still have time. 4 months. We still have 4 months. If you burn 1 pound of fat every week, that's 12 pounds. 16? That's 16 pounds of fat loss. I'm going to tell you right now, 16 pounds of fat loss is a noticeable difference. I don't care how big or heavy you are. It's a noticeable difference. 16 pounds of fat. Here's the other thing before I leave. Before I go, you guys think that cutting out carbs is what's going to make you lose weight. And you don't understand something. Cutting out carbs is making you lose the water that's in your muscles. They call it glycogen stores. So those are that glycogen stores that you have in your muscle is going to be depleted. And so when you cut out carbs, you tend to look real flat. Guys, cutting out carbs is not going to make you any skinnier if you're not in a deficit. So instead of cutting out carbs, have your carbohydrates. You just got to move more. So that way, at the end of the day, you're in a deficit. Your muscles can stay fuller, rounder as you're dropping weight, as you're dropping fat. Again, cutting out carbs is not going to make you lose fat. You ever wonder why you get weak? You ever wonder why you kind of like don't feel that good when you cut out carbs? You kind of feel like skinny, but kind of like a sickly skinny. Yeah, you need carbs. You need carbs, you need your fats, you need your proteins. And like I said before, and I'll say it again, prioritize proteins first. Okay? With that being said, man, hey, we still got 4 months to go. All right? As far as I'm concerned, my plan is 20 years from now. How am I going to look 20 years from now? So my game is long. I'm in the long game of things, okay? As you should too. Stay in the long game for those who are over 50, all right? Get healthy, lose some weight, drop some fat. Stay hard, people. With that being said, I'll see you on the next one.